Hey guys, how we doing tonight? I had a little problem with my audio earlier, but hopefully everybody can see me and hear me. So if you want to give me a big thumbs up or just let me know that you see me and hear me, then we'll get going. Awesome. Okay, thanks, Mina. You can see me and hear me. Awesome. Okay. So I'm going to go back to the top of the chat real quick. Hello, Omar. Hola. Hi, Barbara. Hi, Cynthia. Hi, Mina. Hi, Dan. Hi, Angela. Hi, Terry. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Beverly. Not sure if I said Beverly already. I may have. I know there's Barbara and then there's Beverly. So hi, guys. Hi, Vivian. Hi, Estella. I got your email and I sent you one back. I hope you got that email, Estella. Let's see. Lisa, you ordered some patterns and you can't wait to get started. Awesome. There's so many fun patterns. I just love them. Let's see. Hi, Laura. And make sure I am not missing anybody. You have an echo. Okay. Okay. Hopefully everything is good, guys. Okay. All right. Thanks so much for being here tonight. I know this was a little bit of a last minute and not really last minute, but it's like for me it was the last minute because I just got this project laid out on the wood and everything set up about 2 hours ago. So yeah, you guys can probably see we have a nice little fire back there. I rearranged my actually, Mina, most of my office hasn't moved. I'm still in the living room. I just, I got rid of a couple pieces of furniture because I need room for a tree. And we're just kind of like really crunched in here. So you can see my living room now, guys. And that's totally cool. And yes, we have firewood. This is how we heat our house, is our lovely little fireplace back there. So thanks for being here, guys, and we can go ahead and get started. Let me switch the screen. Hopefully I won't lose audio. Looks like audio should be good. So here's our cute little Santa Claus that we are going to be burning tonight. Awesome. Yeah, normally I have like furniture or something or panels back here to kind of like separate my workspace from the living room. It helps me to focus a little bit. And also, you guys, you know, it looks, I don't know, more like a studio office. But no, I'm just here in my living room. So I've been here for a long time. I would love to get a studio, guys. All right, well, let's get going. This is such a cute little snowman. I keep saying snowman. I typed it in snowman and I had to erase it. So Santa, it's a cute little Santa. So the first thing that I think I'm gonna do is kind of sand down some of these guidelines a little bit with my lovely M-Jump sanding pads that are on my Amazon store. And we're just gonna kind of tone this down a little bit. Because we do have a lot of lighter values, you know, with the white areas of the fur and the beard of the Santa. So, just gonna hit this really quick with a little sanding pad and kind of mute those guidelines a little bit. And I might zoom in just a tad here for you guys. Yeah, I really wanted to get the Christmas tree up for you. See, guys, because the tree is going to go like right behind me because you don't want it near the fireplace. Oh, come on, menu. Give me the thing. Focus. Right there. Okay. Okay, that should stay nice and bright. Yep, the studio is where we sit. Absolutely, guys. It would be helpful as far as distractions to have my own area kind of closed off, but that's just not happening right now. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Mellow Yellow. All right. So the last couple projects that I've done, I did outline a bit with the mini flow point. I think I'm just going to outline a little bit with the shading point. I think most of this is going to be done with a shading point. I don't really want harsh lines on this guy. He's so soft and fluffy. I just want to, you know, just squeeze him because he's just so lovable. So I don't think I want really harsh lines like we did outlining like the holiday deer. So we're going to keep our values a little bit softer. And so close, guys, so close. I'm almost ready to burn. But I forgot this, I love this shape of wood, but it will not stay on here and it's gonna drive me crazy. So I'm just gonna tape this sucker down and then we'll get going, I promise. Okay, so just a nice little roll of tape on the back here and he should stay put. I can get rid of that thing. Okay, there we are. Now that shouldn't move. Okay. Yeah, Tracy, Barbara says Santa and Fire gets us in the Christmas spirit. Absolutely. I'd love to play like Christmas music in the background, but it would probably get copyrighted or something for that. So, and my Dingle Bob is out of view. Okay. I love his little poofy ball at the end of the hat. So I am burning on max heat right now. It's at the max temp setting, but that's where I normally keep it for burning. Hi Jeff, hi Larry. And I only turn it down if I have to do a lot of lighter details, such as shading a face or something like that. So this is still a little bit dark, but an outline, but not super dark. Sophie is really thirsty tonight. So I'm going to blow on the point just a little bit to make some lighter values around the little dingle ball on the end of the hat. And you can always turn the temperature down on the burner too, and that'll give you more control for those lighter areas. Hi Desiree. Alright. Okay, Estella. Yeah, I've been having some problems with my email, Estella, so I really hope that went through. But I did get your message regarding what you sent, and I am currently working on that now. So hopefully I can have something for you this week. So I'm going to probably kind of focus on the hat for right now, and then we'll just work our way down at Mr. Santa and kind of work from the top down. So even though I am outlining, I don't want my outlines to be so dark that they stand out. On this project, I want them just to kind of blend in. I don't want the harsh lines. It just depends on the project that I am working on. Like last week, we did the holiday deer. I think is here. Yeah. And so this one definitely had more heavy outlines like around the deer and all that, and I went like super crazy on the snowflakes, but it was a lot of fun. And you can see this heavy outline here does create some really nice dimension and pop, and it kind of stands out from the background. I want this guy to be a little bit softer and more fluffy, and just a little bit more lovable. And I don't know. I don't want those harsh, those harder lines. So that's what I'm working on right now, guys. So it is going to be a little bit more of creating definition by shading instead of outlining. But if you want to outline this little guy, just go right ahead. It's not going to be the end of the world if you decide to outline him. Whatever you guys want to do. Okay. All right. I think you're welcome, Estella. So sorry about the delay, because I know you you reached out a little while ago on that. So for the dingle ball here, remember that if we want to create the illusion of something rounded, we need shading kind of usually on both sides, but since it's a ball, we want shading all the way around. So it's going to be really light shading. And we're going to have kind of a highlight down here in the mid to lower part of the dingle bob. So I'm just kind of doing an upward flicking motion right now, just to keep that nice and subtle. And like I said, turn the temperature down if you find that it's a little bit hard to control with it on max. Okay, and so there we have our nice little dingle bob. Fat cheeks, guys. I love his cheeks. He's so cute. You just want to squeeze him. Terry is asking, am I going to add color? I don't know. We'll see. For the people that follow me on Patreon and that you are supporters on Patreon, I do have the colored reference photo for you as well. So you get the sepia tone and the colored one for free for being a wonderful patron on Patreon. So if you've not taken a look at patreon.com/Minisa, go ahead and take a look. If you look in the title of this video, this is live stream number 76. And I have a couple of live streams sitting on YouTube just to kind of, you know, let people know that they're there. But if you're looking for all of the live streams, they are all stationed over on Patreon. And so it's $10 a month, and you can go take a look at that, and there's no commitments. I think if you sign up for a year, though, you get like a 15% discount, which is pretty cool. And then you have access to all 76 of my live streams, plus you get the pattern projects for free. So that's really, really cool. So it's definitely worth the $10 a month, and it helps me to keep making content and keep the lights on and the fire burning here in the house. So Barbara, you're suggesting color and snow splatters. You can see he does have some little snow sprinkles on him, so that would be fun to flick some snow on him. Hello Tara, welcome, and thanks for being here tonight. Okay, so hi Nettie062, welcome, thanks for being here. You have a question saying that you're brand new to wood burning and that you see that pencil is okay to burn over, but what about using distress ink, say in the form of marking with a stencil, and you do use a fan when burning? That is a great question. Generally, I would err on the side of caution before you burn over anything. Graphite pencil, they say, is okay. I use graphite paper. I don't use carbon paper. Carbon paper has kind of like a waxy buildup. to it that you don't really want to burn over. It's not very good to breathe in. But just graphite pencil and graphite paper, so far I've heard, are safe to burn over. Any kind of ink, paint, stain, dye, or pigment, I would strongly recommend that you do not burn over the top of. You know, some people will burn over stuff like that and wear a respirator. Again, it's a safety issue. So it would be your call on that one, but always err on the side of caution to basically just burn on unfinished wood only, and save the color. If you add color, save the color to the very end, because you only get one set of lungs and you need to take care of those. So, and not to mention the pets in your house, or if you're burning in your house and you've got kids or pets or whatever, spouses and aunts and uncles and all that stuff. So safety first always. But that is a very, very great question. Hi, Dennis. So another cool thing about being on Patreon is for upcoming projects, I do put them out for a vote. So I had 3 holiday patterns that I put on Patreon, and the patrons voted on them. And we did the holiday deer won the most amount of votes, so we did that one first. And then this little Santa guy, he got the second most votes, so we're working on him tonight. And the third pattern that was there was a really kind of cool, intricate ornament that would be fun to burn as well. This is a wonderful community here, Nettie and Tara, and so glad that you guys are here to join us tonight. So Tara, what do I use to fix the colors in? You mean so they don't like bleed or run? It kind of depends on what color that you're doing. Tara, you might elaborate a little bit more on your question as far as how to fix the colors. I'm assuming like you don't want them to bleed or run when applying like a clear coat or something, but give me a shout out. Give me a little bit more information on your question. Okay, so I am burning a little bit more tentatively. Some of these areas here need to be a little bit darker, and I'm kind of being careful because I don't want to overburn. So I'm just going to turn this guy upside down and go to town and get this done. And we'll get that edge of the Santa hat darkened up. Doink, 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 doink. And a little bit darker over here. Okay, now let's see about filling in the rest of the hat. Vivian is asking, do you use the airplane technique when you burn with wire tips too? Yes, I do. With lines, I suppose you could just like hold them in place and draw your outline. I'm not that, I guess, good at solid movements. So normally when I burn, whether it's a solid point or a wire point, I generally burn like little tiny sections, kind of like that. It gives me just a little bit more control. But yes, when shading with the wire tips, I also do the airplane mode. And sometimes I find that with the wire tip burners, it's a little bit more difficult because they heat up so fast that when you take the point off the wood, it builds up a lot of heat, and then you put it back on the wood, and it tends to do a little bit of a too hot of a burn when you first set it down, and then you travel and the wood pulls the heat out of the burner and you get a lighter line, and then you lift it and you go back to set it back down and it's regained its heat. And so you get, I think, some irregular burns with wire tip. That's why I don't use them very much. I like the solid point because it just seems to burn a little bit more consistent for me. Now, wire point burners definitely do have their place if you're burning on harder types of wood or bone. Some people like to burn on bone, and you need a higher temp burner for that. Even burning on paper it's helpful to have a higher temp burner like the wire tips. Okay, so Tara, do I use a varnish? That is a great question, and there's like 1,000 answers. So yes, I did start out when I first started wood burning in 2009. I did varnish all of my pieces, and I varnished them for years and years. I got to the point where I was a little bit concerned because I was seeing some immediate loss of value right after I varnished them, my burnings. Even though they had sat in a closet and they were just fine for like 6 months, I threw a clear coat on them and I could immediately see a change in value and some like a loss in the finer details. So right now I don't clear coat, especially my bigger pieces, because if I ever need to go back and reburn them like commissions, I try not to clear coat those. So I can always go back and touch them up if I need to. But if you do want to apply a varnish, you do need to be careful about what kind of pigment that you've put down. I have 2 books out. One is realistic, like wood burning realistic wildlife, and the other one is wood burning projects and patterns for beginners. So if you go to either woodburninguniversity.com or minisapyrography.com, they're even on Amazon. Take a look at those books. It lists all sorts of information on the different types of color that you can apply to wood burnings, plus tips on how to varnish over the top of those. So that's a great resource, is those books. And I have a cat trying to come over here. Anyway, so like with colored pencil, you don't want to varnish it. Gosh, I could do a whole class on varnishing. There's spray on varnish, there's paint on varnish, so there's a lot to it. If you want to take a look at that book, it lists out everything that you need to know. Either book has sections on color. Okay, so we have the hat kind of in place. I need to darken up a little bit more here, but again, to get that rounded shape, we need to darken a little bit on either side. We're going to have it lighter in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this guy upside down and kind of darken up this edge so I don't get ghosting and that overburn over there. So like as far as clear coating over acrylic paint or oil paint, you can just brush on or spray on. It's not going to move. If you try to clear coat over markers and you do brush on, they will bleed like crazy. So I don't recommend brush on finish with markers. If you do a brush on varnish with colored pencil, that first clear coat, that first layer, don't overwork it with the brush because you'll make the colors bleed a little bit. So if you're unsure, go with a spray on finish. It's a little bit more friendly for color, and your colors aren't going to bleed as bad if you do a spray on instead of a brush on finish. Sorry, a little bit of an info dump there, but that was a great question. And definitely take a look at those books. There's a wealth of knowledge in those. I've poured my heart and soul into those for years, and a great resource. All right, so I'm going to kind of darken up at the edge of the hat, and then we'll kind of move on a little bit here. Now, anytime you burn across the grain, try to be a little bit more patient and have a real soft hand so that grain doesn't interfere with how you burn. Because it does make a difference, burning cross grain versus straight grain. All right, Santa. Stay put, little guy. A little bit of blending here. Okay, so there's our little Santa hat. And the top part of the hat anyway. Okay, I'm gonna check up on the chat real quick. So Larry, you were saying that when you use the standard shading tip that I'm using, you get nowhere near the black value that I'm getting here. So some of that is camera angle, Larry. This is like really having a hard time focusing. Sorry about that. If you look closer, it is not really, come on, focus for me. It's not a really dark value. It is still mostly just a dark brown value. Sometimes the camera makes it look a little bit richer than it actually is, but you can get a super dark value, but it's just going to take a little bit more time to build that out. So some of that is the camera, Larry. And you get better blacks with your homemade pro tip. I'm so glad you made one. I do too, because it just operates at a higher temp. And you can just really spend a lot of time in there with the normal shader and get those dark values. It just takes a little bit longer. So, alrighty. Okay, so Tracy says, thank you for explaining that, because that made so much sense as to why my airplane mode was still not quite as smooth. Yeah, when you're burning with a wire tip, you get instant heat and it's really hot, but as soon as you put that point on the wood and burn, the wood sucks the heat out of the point and it cools off real fast, and then you lift the point off the wood and it heats up again, so it's like hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. And so when you try to blend with a wire tip burner, I find that turning the temperature down and just being more patient is definitely a good way to kind of moderate that hot, cold effect. You're very welcome, Tara. Mina put a link to my books in the chat, so take a look at those. If you do want to order a book, please consider ordering it directly from me. Number one, I make a little bit more money off of the books than through Amazon, and I sign all my book copies that if I get orders from me to me, I sign the books for you guys. So unfortunately you can't do that on Amazon because it is fulfilled someplace else. So this fluffy part of the hat, the little white part, is going to be pretty light. Again, for that rounded shape, we want some shading over here and a little bit over there. It's going to be lighter in the middle. So we can go ahead and build up our layers with that. Turn that burner down if you need to, or blow on the point. And we have a little bit more of a darker value at the underside of the fluffy part of the hat. My tape is not going to stick here after a little bit, but that's okay. We'll get some more tape. So definitely work in layers. It makes it so much easier for blending so that you can get your values smoothed out really nice and even. And I'm gonna come back and add a little bit more of a darker shading there. And along the base of the floofy part and blend it upwards. Sorry you're looking sideways here, guys. It's just so much easier to shade if you turn the wood. You know, you guys have watched me like get into contortionist positions trying to burn the image without turning the wood. Just turn the wood. It is so much easier. Okay, I might pull a little bit more of this gradient over, and that's basically all we're doing here on the hat, is making a gradient. Now sometimes I find that my gradients might be a little bit too smooth, because you can see he does have a little bit of fun texture in the hat, and I might need to go back and kind of put that in and rough it up a little bit and give it just a little bit more texture, and you can always do that too. You're welcome, Larry. Tara, yes, I do ship worldwide, so just check out either Minisa Pyrography or Wood Burning University, and those orders come directly to me, and yes, I will post to the UK. Just yeah, work with your post office on trying to coordinate to get those. So, but yes, I do ship worldwide. Even if Amazon doesn't, I will do that. Larry is saying, remember the snowy forest? You're on your third one. Oh, that's awesome. Your daughter saw it and said she loved it, so you're burning one for her for Christmas. Awesome. Aw, and Tracy, you got my book last year. Nice. Very cool, guys. Dennis, you're surprised I didn't start with the eyes. I know. Normally I do, and for those of you that are new here, yeah, I'm like completely breaking my pattern. I always start with the eyes. He does look kind of funny. So let's zoom in so you can see those eyes a bit more. Give me a second and I'll refocus. Come on, don't shake. Okay, there we go. Could be. Yeah, I also, Dennis, I always start with the eyes, except for tonight. So, and let's see, I have a couple different burners going on over here. I might try to burn the eyes with this one here, the mini flow point. We can probably do that, at least part of it. So I don't like changing points out unless I absolutely have to. So you can see here I have a board with some of my favorite points, and I just turn them all on so I can switch back and forth, because I hate turning off the burner, cooling it down, switching the points, and waiting for them to warm back up. So these guys are pretty inexpensive, and especially if you get Michael's, they have usually a 40% off any one item sale, so that's a great way to get wood burner tools at a discount. Gotta be careful here, guys. You know what? I think I'm actually going to do this with the shading point. I do get a little bit more control with this one. I know it seems a little bit weird, but where am I? Okay. So if I rock the point way up, I can get a really nice crisp edge. I feel like I have just a little bit more control with this because it's smaller. And if my head is in the way, yeah, it is. I'm sorry. I'm holding my breath, so don't breathe. wish I could keep my head out of the film. Sorry. I gotta get close because these guys are so tiny. The eyes are so small. Alright, it looks kind of cross-eyed. Hang on, let's fill in these eyes and we'll try to make it look better. And to kind of help prevent ghosting and overburn, I'm going to kind of jump back and forth from eye to eye. Okay, so that's better. I'm going to kind of burn around this eye, the glossy white part, and make that just a bit smaller. Okay, there's his cute little dark eyes. Okay. Whew. Now I can breathe. You gotta hold. I hold my breath doing that. Just checking on the chat. Bum, bum, bum. Thank you guys for all your likes. I really, really appreciate it. And if you're not subscribed, please do. I don't always get my live streams and everything set up in advance. So usually we're every Thursday night here. So if you like and subscribe and then hit the notification bell, you'll know when I post new stuff. So, alrighty. Just making sure that we are good on the chat and no questions. Okay. And I do kind of skim through the chat, so if I miss your question and you have a question, just shout at me again. All right, so I'm going to kind of do a light outline on the beard, and then we'll fill in the face. Hi, Frank. Oh, no. And if you would like more patterns like this, check out Wood Burning University, because we have, I think, over 200 patterns now that you can create wood burnings of, or paintings, drawings, whatever. It's a great artist resource. So if you're looking for something in particular, go ahead and check out woodburninguniversity.com and our pattern page. There's so many things on there, and everything is categorized by skill levels. So there's beginner, intermediate, advanced, and premium patterns. So, and if you don't see something there, like if you're looking for something and it's not there, send me a message and I will try to get some new patterns made. Also, another nice thing about being a patron over on Patreon is you get a monthly discount code for the patterns, which is pretty cool. Laura, I just saw that you got the dragon pattern. I can't tell you how I've been wanting to wood burn the dragon patterns. I want to burn all of them, but especially the dragon ones. Those look so fun. I have a lot of holiday patterns on there right now as well, and including this little guy. So if you don't want to become a patron over on Patreon and get this pattern for free, then you can always go buy the patterns a la carte style, and you can get those on Wood Burning University. So I love how his little eyes just disappear into his face. They're just so, he's squishy. It's like he's made out of dough. So you can see I'm doing really, really light outlines right now. I don't want to put in really harsh lines at this point. Everything's going to be just as light as I can. Because I want a little bit of definition, but I don't want these really hard outlines. Doing okay, kiddo? Alright, so this little tiny mouth is going to be kind of fun. You see, so small. And I am burning, this project is like 5 by 7 inches, which is a pretty good size. You could even make this little guy into ornaments, which would be fun. He would look really nice on an ornament, or even on a bigger project too. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and work on that little tiny mouth of his. Jeff says, besides blowing on the tip to cool it down, what's the other reasons for it? I think that's pretty much the only reason why I blow on the point to cool it down. Okay. So again, the upper tip of the shading point is great to get into these little tiny areas here. And there's my head again, sorry guys. I like to work really close, so hopefully you don't just have to see the back side of my head all night. He's so cute. All right. So, because this little guy, his face is so delicate, I am going to turn the burner down a little bit. And that's pretty common when I wood burn faces, is to turn the burner down a wee bit. So here we have, I just have tape on there because it moves if you don't have it taped down. So instead of full heat, I'm going to take it down to about where the orange meets the red on the temp dial for the walnut hollow. So we'll kind of cool that down a little bit and let the temperature drop, and then we will try to make some of those nice soft values on the face. Now, I mean, this is like my hand for comparison, so his face is really small, so definitely turn the burner down for some of these tiny little areas. Tracy, I'm sorry that you weren't there with us the last session of the dare. I hope you're feeling better. Awesome, thanks Larry. That's so fun. Okay, while this point is cooling down, I'm going to burn some of the darker areas here. Like right underneath the hat. There's a nice little shadow. How are the volts looking, hon?
I'll let you know.
Thank you. Okay. So we have a little bit of a shadow up above his cheek. And I'm going to kind of blend things out and burn around his little white eyebrows. And you can see as I'm burning across the grain, you can see a little bit more of that grain show up. And so it makes my shading marks look kind of splotchy, but you can always go back and kind of burn with the grain like this and burn in between the grain if it really bothers you. And you can kind of smooth that up a little bit.
48.8, and Cash is going to take a shower, so I'll keep an eye on it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I brought the pizza up. It's on the deck.
Oh, okay, cool. That's a great idea. Did you bring up some kitty food?
Yes.
Oh, great. They're out in Cash's room.
Okay. Got 2 big bags and I brought a little one.
Okay. So we have kind of like a little bridge up and over his nose. And you see that dark spot right there that just showed up? That was a knot that I just burned over, and it's kind of like I just gave Santa a freckle on his nose. It was not supposed to be that dark. And let's darken this up just a little bit over here. You can really start to see kind of the wood grain showing up. Bum, 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 bum. Checking on the chat. A freckle-faced Santa. He just has one freckle. It's like maybe a beauty mark or a mole or something. It was not supposed to go that dark. Okay, so his eyes are starting to, he flew too close to the sun. Yep. What is that? Icarus? Flew too close to the sun. Alright, so his little round nose needs a nice darker value around the outside. And then it's going to get lighter as we pull towards the middle. It must be cold out because his nose is a little bit darker. I like it. Okay, so let's see. We're a little bit darker underneath the nose, a nice little shadow. And then it kind of blends outward. And now for the fluffy cheeks.
What day are you planning to do that equipment move, Anne? Question mark. Of course, comma. We can accommodate you, and if you could hold off until this Saturday, about noon or so, that would really be perfect.
Okay, so we have a nice shadow underneath the cheeks. Hey, hon.
Yeah.
Here, a little bit audible.
Okay, I'll quit.
It's okay.
Sorry.
It's all right. Just wanted to let you know. All right, so we have kind of our shadow in place, and now let's blend everything together. I'm starting from the darker area and kind of swooshing into the lighter area with that airplane mode. So I set the burner down in the darker areas, and then I burn and lift it off of the wood like an airplane taking off. And basically we're just making a gradient on his cheeks. So from the bottom part, I'm like, I just saw myself, I'm like completely blown out. It's kind of funny. Anyway, so yeah, we got darker values down below, and then it's basically a gradient pulling upward into the cheeks, and that's how you'll get those plump little cheeks. Thanks for being here, Tara. Have a great night. Hi, Rachel. Alright, so he has some really floofy cheeks. I could probably do a little bit more shading on his forehead here. Now keep in mind, this guy is like really small, so anytime you burn something small, it's more difficult. Hey, I think he'll work. Maybe he has like a dimple right there. Rachel, did I have a move around? Actually, no, I just, I usually have like furniture or panels here to divide my living room from my studio. So I'm still in the studio / living room. I just took down the stuff in the back because I need to get room for a Christmas tree. So I think our fire is not really going right now, but it was roaring at the beginning of the video, so you're welcome to rewind and take a look at the pretty fire.
You want me to stoke it?
I'm pretty warm myself. I started it for Munchkin.
Look at this cat, she's about to fall off.
Oh my gosh. You gotta get a picture of that. That's so cute.
She's about to slip off there. It's like, yeah, that's gonna be rude.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of touch up and give a little bit more definition between the cheeks and the mustache, and then we will continue on. Alright, so normally I like to burn from the darker values to the lighter values, so I'm probably going to go underneath this little mustache and add some darker values underneath there. I still have my burner at a lower temp setting, which is just fine for these light areas, because even though his beard is white, it's not pure white. So anytime you're trying to wood burn something that is white, don't let it kind of fool you. There are values other than white in your white subject. So look for the shading, look for the values, and just try to get those in there as best as you can. Barbara, yeah, we usually have like a variety of pets. Well, yeah, you can see there's Sophie's right there. If you look in the very background, I have a cat that's about to fall. Leave her there. I'm gonna make that bigger so they can see this. My cat's about to fall off the couch. Look at this. Can you see theirs? Like, we get, that's her head right there. That's her body, and she's about to fall off the couch. She's so cute. So, all right, back down I go. Not the best quality, but yeah, her head is like about to fall. She's about to go clear off the couch. Yeah, get a picture. She's so cute. Yeah, we usually have like just animals scattered around everywhere here. So, Terry says that your chat went under the video. Anyone know how to get it back? I hate it when it does that because I have the worst time. Mina, do you know how to do that? To get the chat, because the chat was on the side and now it's underneath the video. I did that once by accident and it took me for a while to get it. Angela says hi.
Hi, Angela. Hi, Mitch.
You're there. And yeah, normally I put up panels or furniture or something to kind of have a little bit more control of the background in the video, but I need a Christmas tree and I have no room, so there we are. Oh, you're sending me the pictures. I'll show him the pictures that you sent. Okay, so my husband just took a picture of the cat that's about to fall off the couch. Let me show it to you guys. It's a okay. So here's the cat. She's about to fall off of the couch in the background. She's so cute. She kind of blends in with the blanket too. Thanks, hon.
You're welcome. She woke up.
Oh, now she's awake. Yeah, I'd be a wreck if I tried to sleep like that, Vivian. My neck would be toast. Oh. Yeah, Rachel, it did look like I was in a separate room, kind of a closed-in room. I had to take the panels away because the kittens were climbing everything. And it's basically like carpet panels. So they were going to destroy my gallery, like, pretty panels. So I had to take those down. And then I had to move the furniture because we need a cat tree. Haha, a Christmas tree. So you guys get a little bit of entertainment in the background while I'm burning here. Alright, so I'm trying to, like, the beard is just basically like fur. It's pretty similar. I'm going to hit this with a sanding pad and touch down some of those guidelines because I don't want to see them. Alright. Yeah, Barbara, I'm so terrified that the cats are going to climb the Christmas tree. We may have to have kitten-friendly ornaments this year. So I'm putting in the kind of the bottom shaded area of the beard, and you can see how I'm always, anytime I burn fur, which this is basically like a fur pattern, I want to keep a really irregular edge. I don't want to just march my burner. Well, hi! I don't want to march my burner back and forth across the wood and make like rows for fur. Unfortunately, I see a lot of times people that are just starting will do that, and they'll try to make another row of fur and blend it, but it doesn't blend very well, and you get these kind of very visible rows. Well, come here, as you're marching across the wood. So anytime you're dealing with fur, try to always keep a really irregular edge like that. You're gonna jump, aren't you? All right, well, come here. Come on. Come this side. Come on. That's it. All right, there you go. Okay, this is Bobby. Bobby likes to snuggle. So anyway, keep a very irregular edge there, and it will help when it comes time to blend in your fur. All right, so she's gonna chill out with me for a little bit, and I'll try not to catch anything on fire. You are so cute. Yes, you are. So just still working here at the bottom edge and kind of pulling those values up a little bit. I'm still on the lighter temp setting for the burner, so that helps when you're burning white things as well. Hi, you're so cute. Now, generally, cats and burners don't go to. No, you can't grab that. No, no. You can't have it. You still can't have it. No. No, you can't. Do not grab that. All right, you're gonna have to go down. You cannot get that. I know it's moving, but do not grab it. All right, and then we're gonna do the same thing from the top down. So like we've talked about rounded things where you have dark on either edge and then lighter in the middle, that's kind of the same thing with his beard because it's rounded this way. So we're gonna have darker at the top, dark at the bottom, and kind of lighter in the middle. So that's what we're gonna try to accomplish now. And then we do have a little bit of rounded edges on the side, so we're gonna darken them on the side to create rounded this way, and then we're gonna darken at the top and the bottom for a rounded beard vertically. I hope that makes sense, guys. Yeah, grass can be quite the challenge, Tracy. Grass is a different thing because you've got like negative space grass and positive space grass, and then they kind of mix together. So grass can be a challenge to burn. So I'm just going to kind of darken the edges here a little bit more on the beard. And then I don't really like, you can kind of see it's a harsh transition between the unburned wood and where we've burned the beard. So we're just going to pull some of these things, some of the values down a little bit into that unburned area, and then pull some up like that to kind of marry those two zones and give us some highlights there. So. And then if you need to go back, you can kind of add a little bit more shading and blending underneath his little mouth. Oh, Rachel, you just got a bunny. Oh my gosh. Yeah, my daughter would love a rabbit. Angela, yeah, that kitty loves snuggles for sure. And I hope I have some of these values dark enough. I think I might actually darken them a little bit underneath the mustache, because once I fill in the mustache, it's going to kind of, it might get lost in the face and the beard. So I'm going to just add a little bit more kind of darker values in there to separate and create some more definition. All right, I'm gonna burn right above his little mouth. That's better. Now, same thing with this mustache. You'll see that we have some darker values at the top and the bottom, and we're lighter kind of in the middle there for that nice three-dimensional appearance. So add some little strokes of texture in there for the mustache. And there we have a mustache. So, all right. Okay, so he's looking pretty good, guys, so far. I think I need a little bit of shading on that lower lip so it doesn't stand out. That's a little better. All right, we might need to do some tweaking along the way, but he's looking better. Okay, so let's move down a little bit, and I'm going to turn, I'm going to turn the burner back up a bit to max temp. So all the way up to right there. And while that is heating up, I'm going to kind of start outlining some of the lighter sections of the cuffs on the jacket. Quit! Going to tear up the couch. This is starting to heat up pretty quickly, so we'll jump into the darker parts of the jacket here in just a second. Okay, so we have this nifty little belt buckle here. I'm going to outline. Kind of go around the beard. And we have a nice dark section at the bottom and on this right hand side. And then just a little bit of light shading in the rest of it. And we'll work our way around the belt buckle. Thanks, Mina. Yeah, I think he's looking pretty darn cute. I'll probably adjust some of the values as we go, but we got a good start on Mr. Santa. Okay, we have a belt. That is pretty dark on the bottom. It's almost like a pure black, like a level 5 on the shading scale. Larry says he could pass for the Pillsbury Doughboy. I agree. He's just so squishy. You just want to give him a squeeze. So let's try to get this belt nice and dark without overburning the rest of the jacket. Thanks, Tracy. You like him better than the picture? You're very sweet. He's coming along pretty darn well. So you can see I kind of keep jumping back and forth from this side to that side, because if you spend too much time burning a dark value in one area, it's going to kind of put you more at risk of that ghosting and overburn, that kind of golden halo around your subject area. And I try to tend to avoid that, but if you like that, that's totally your call. I try to avoid it just because generally I work with realism and I don't want this kind of glowy halo of the overburn. But that is me. Alrighty, so we're going to put in a little bit of just general shading on this belt. And I'll probably darken it here a little bit because as the belt disappears under his hand around his side, it's going to get a little bit darker. Kind of like that. So you see how we have a nice gradient right there, and I may have done a little bit more than in the picture, but that rounded appearance, darker on either end, lighter in the middle, and that just gives it a nice, really three-dimensional rounded appearance. So thanks, guys. Larry, yeah, you just want to squeeze those cheeks. They're so cute. Thanks, guys. All right, so let's do the same thing here on this belt. It's going to be a little bit darker as it goes towards the buckle and under the beard because there's a shadow in play. And then just kind of a nice mid-tone level across the belt. And I'm going to blend it in a little bit more here. Okay. And a little bit more, but I don't want it to overburn. Okay. I may have burned it a little bit much, but I can always go back and kind of darken up the darks, and that'll help balance things out a tad. Okay. So he's got a lovely belt. Let's see. And he's got right here in his little armpit area, there's kind of a little light section, which is pretty cool. So I'll burn around that. And we have some little creases of his jacket. And then it's pretty dark down here. And then it gets lighter as we come forward. And it's going to be a little bit darker underneath the beard for a shadow. Okay, now general light value across the jacket. And we blend everything together. Kinda like that. Oh, Barbara. Barbara says it would be cute to have a reindeer peeking over his shoulder. Oh, that would be so cute. I love it. So Nettie is asking, whoops, I have the wrong one. Was that the airplane mode just demonstrated on the jacket? A little bit. So I'm going to just turn this over. Generally, the airplane mode is you're going to want to keep your hand in motion as you get closer to the wood, and then gently set down, burn, and then lift while in motion. That prevents that stop spot. If I don't do that gradual transition of the airplane mode, and I just set my burner on the wood and travel and lift, there you're going to get those stop spots that are a little bit hard to control. So by using a nice gentle transition of setting down on the wood and then lifting it off of the wood in motion, it helps to prevent those stop spots. And it takes a bit of practice, but every time I set the burner on the wood, I want that almost like a swing set or an airplane landing and taking back off. You want to keep that real nice gentle transition. And you get to a point where, you know, I don't even think about it. It's just second nature. But if you were just to put the point on the wood and then burn back and forth like this, every time you change direction, you're going to get those stop spots. And it makes for a much patchier kind of a shading. So if you want smoother shading, just start practicing that gradual transition. And I burn back and forth a lot of times like that, but you can just burn, you know, one direction, set it down, and lift off like this. And that gives you a different kind of a gradient, which is pretty cool. You can even do it from the other way. Set down and lift off, set down and lift off like that. So you can see you get a little bit different effect, whether it's just unidirectional or multi-directional. So that's kind of the difference with the airplane mode. My tape is like not sticking. So what is going on? I have buffering. All right, sorry guys, I got a little bit of buffering there. Okay, so same thing, I'm going to add just a little bit of a dark outline for a shadow, and then here would be like a unidirectional airplane mode where I set the point down in the dark areas and I pull it towards the light. Set down, pull, set, pull, set, pull. And it makes a really nice gradient. And then anytime that you can burn in layers, it is very, very helpful. You don't have to match that dark of a value on your first pass. You can build up the layers like I'm doing right here. The more layers that you burn, I think the smoother the shading will be. So we're going to do the same thing here, a little bit darker near the cuff, and then I'm going to kind of flick upwards for that gradient there. And I get to where I can do it pretty fast and I don't even like think about it. But it does take practice and it does take time. But every time you see me put the point on the wood, it's always that gentle transition. Generally with shading, like if I'm going to burn this dark value here, I don't have to have that airplane mode, but shading is all about smooth takeoff and smooth landing. So it's a little bit darker here in the armpit. I'm going to darken it there and blend it out. And that's looking okay. All right. You're very welcome, Nettie. Yeah, Larry, absolutely. That is a super important basic technique for wood burning. Because so many times when we first start wood burning, me included, this is how I started. I'm like, okay, I'm going to draw like a pencil, right? And you just set the pencil on the wood and you make a line and then you lift it off. Well, because we have the buildup of heat, you have to limit how much time that you make contact with the wood. So, thanks, Bina. Jeff is asking, was thinking about buying an Apple iPad to design your own images by using an app called Procreate and using them for templates for wood burning. What are your thoughts? I think that would be really cool. I've played around with Procreate a little bit. That's actually how I made the Wood Burning University logo. I wound up having to buy an Apple iPad, just like what you're thinking. And then I used Procreate to draw on and to create the logo that I wanted, because I love Photoshop and I've used it all my adult life, but I couldn't really get what I wanted without the feel of a pen in my hand. So Jeff, an iPad is way cool and Procreate is really, really awesome. There are so many neat YouTube channels out there that teach you step by step on how to use Procreate. So I wish I had more time to kind of play around with that, but it's really, really cool. So definitely I think it's a lot of fun. And something that I found when working with the iPad is I tried to just use kind of a generic pencil for the Procreate, and it didn't work very well. I wound up having to buy the actual fancy Apple iPen, the iPencil, because it has like pressure sensitivity and all these other cool things built into it. And there was a big difference between like the $30 generic pen and then the more expensive Apple pen. So I would have saved myself some frustration, I think, if I had just gotten the nicer Apple pen to begin with, to go with the iPad and Procreate. So we are working on the mitten. Again, it's a little bit darker around the edges. And then it's going to get lighter in the middle and to make it all nice and round and poofy. Okay, general shading over the top. And then I'm going to probably blend those two zones together between the dark and the general mid-tone. And I might make it a little wee bit darker too. So wood burning is all about values and texture. So don't be concerned if you don't get the right texture or value on their first pass. Come back, try it again, and just keep building up those layers and lots of blending, and you'll get there. All right, there's his little mitten. And I might come back for the white parts when I turn the burner down. It'll go a little bit easier. I'll have more control if I turn the burner down for those white cuffs and fluffy areas. So a nice outline to start, a nice light outline. We have some great shading underneath the beard. And darker values in the little armpit area. And we're going to create a nice gradient from underneath the shadow of the beard shadow, and kind of pull that gradient outward. Angela, you use Art Rage? I hope I'm saying that right, on Google Chrome. Cool. You're still learning it? Yeah, definitely get the pressure sensitive pen. It's really cool. Because all the tutorials that I saw out there have the pressure sensitive pen. I'm like, why won't it work? Well, I couldn't, get the right technique because I didn't have the right pen. So. Okay. And you can hear that little tap, tap, tapping. That's me setting the point on the wood and then lifting. And so it makes like a little tapping sound. So let's pull the shadow down from underneath the beard a little bit more. All right, and then we have the sleeve with these little creases. I'm going to put those creases in there. And we're darker at the bottom. And then a nice gradient upwards. And another layer to kind of blend things out. And one final pass to knock down that highlight. I think the dog wants in, Derry. Okay. Thank you. All right. He's a cute little thing, isn't he? I still want to kind of like maybe do some more blending on his cheeks, but I think we're doing pretty well so far. All right. I need a tiny moment. All right, so let's take a look at the overall image here. Oh, he is so cute. Cool. So I might go back and maybe just darken up some things and blend some things a little bit later, but right now it's looking really nice. So we'll probably burn that mitten and then keep working our way down. So let me zoom back in a tad and refocus. Come on. All right. And I'm gonna go down there a little bit. Okay. He is super cute, guys. Thanks, Mina. Okay. So let's take a look at this little mitten over here. We're just gonna burn kind of a light mid-tone across the mitten. And then I'm going to blend upward from the shadow into the lighter mid-tones. And then we can do the same thing and pull it a little bit downward from the top and just kind of smooth out that transition a little bit. Okay, next up is the little, I guess, the coattails of the jacket. Anyway, the bottom part of the jacket. Just a nice little outline there, and we can do one over here as well. So make sure that you include these little jagged pieces when you're doing your little outlines. Good night, Laura. Thanks so much for being here tonight. Yeah, make sure that you include these little jagged outlines because it makes it look like floofy and gives it a little bit more depth to the jacket. Oh, Larry, that would be so cute to make a little Mrs. Claus like this and have a his and hers kind of set. How cute would that be? So I'm really starting to see the wood grain come through here in this area as I'm trying to make some smooth shading. Hey, hon. Is she feeling okay? Not too hot?
She is just sleeping.
Okay.
She's pretty warm.
Okay.
Should I re-wet your cloth? No? You're doing okay? She feels pretty darn warm.
Okay. Well, I gave her some.
She's warm.
I gave her some stuff at
She's definitely warm.
just before 5.
At 5?
Yeah, 5. Just before 5.
She can do it again at 9?
Yeah.
These are hot.
Where are they?
Spicy barbecue?
Oh, I didn't buy them. Good night, Dennis. So once again, this little section here has some nice shading all around the edges, and then it's going to be lighter in the middle. And we'll just put in, I'll probably go with the grain because it just burns a little bit smoother.
Wow.
Kind of like that. then, yeah, we need to blend it a little bit more. Get a shadow underneath the belt. And then just some smoothing and blending to make this all look a little bit smoother. The generator just started.
It did?
It did.
Wow.
Yay!
'Cause I've been watching the
What are the volts right now? We're still having generator power troubles. So,
Okay. 47.7.
all right. Yay! We don't have to walk outside and like turn it on or we lose power, so that's cool. It just dipped. Probably my light. It takes a lot of power. Barbara says you just sent me an idea on the little reindeer. Okay, cool. Thanks.
Hey, what's this?
Awesome. I know we had talked about like a male and a female reindeer and how cute that would be, and the Mr. and Mrs. Santa would be really neat too. So I will see what I can do to make that happen. You don't, no, you gotta get back, sweetie.
You want me to get that wet for you? Sure will.
Hey, do you want to come get a cute kitty cat?
You're pretty warm. You want me to get that cat?
Probably. She's gonna step on my desk and just slide right down. Thank you.
Come here, go. Come on. Taco cat. Over here, rest of your brother. Hallelujah. That's the first time we've had that generator
Aw.
start in a while.
Yeah. So Mina says we received this cute Christmas card this year. 2 snowmen, 1 male and 1 female hugging. Aw, it looks so adorable. That's so cute. You'll have to send me a picture, Mina. That would be so sweet. Okay, again, shading all around, lighter in the middle. Gives it that nice rounded appearance. Because he's kind of a nice little portly fellow. Very huggable. And I'm going to blend out those transitions. How long has it been since the generator was doing its own thing, hun?
Automatically?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
It's like,
I bet it's been a month.
that's what I'm thinking. We've been having to march outside at all hours of the day and the night to manually turn on power to the house.
I think we're on Honda power for what, 3 weeks?
Yeah, quite a while. And then we've been on this one for probably 3 weeks too, so
Wow.
yay! For right now, our power seems okay. Alrighty. So I'm just kind of looking at the screen. I think I'd like to make his beard kind of tie into the rest of him right now before we move on. It's like his beard is floating kind of above him. So let's add in some little dark patches, some little dark streaks as we bring these little gaps up a little bit. And kind of try to tie the beard into his jacket so it doesn't look like it's floating. Yep, a reindeer right behind him. That'd be so cute. So just by pulling the dark areas upward a little bit into the beard can make that beard look like it's partly transparent, like you can kind of see through it. Hi, Steve. Okay, so that's looking a little bit better, I think, guys. To make that beard look like it's not floating above his jacket. What do you think? Does it look better on this side? I think I could even pull that up a little bit more. That's something that I usually do when I'm wood burning all kinds of projects, even like cartoony ones. I try to make them look a little bit more realistic maybe than I should, but normally white is going to be a little bit transparent and you're going to see underneath it a tad. So just because it's not on the reference photo, I'm going to take some artistic liberty and just go for it here. And sometimes I don't see it until I get away from it, like I look up at the screen, what you guys see, and it looks a little bit, you get a different viewpoint on it. Oh, ow, ow, ow! Hi, Chipper. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Do you want to come up here too, bud? I don't know. You like the beard better, guys? Okay, thanks, Barbara. Oh, that sounds fun, Mina. You like the beard better? Yeah, I do too. Just making it a little bit more wispy at the bottom. The pizzas are on the porch. Okay.
There's snow in these.
Uh-oh. Okay. There, the beard is a little bit more tied in with reality now. Okay, cool, guys. All right. So let's burn his pants. A little bit of outline. His feet are so stubby. What time is it? I'm like, I completely forgot what time it is. We're doing good on time, guys. Sometimes I get so focused on the project that I forget, so to check the time. So if I like start burning well past, yeah, 8 o'clock, just give me a holler, guys. Kelly. Kelly's asking, did I draw the pattern? So normally I use graphite paper to transfer the pattern onto the wood, but this pattern is from Wood Burning University, so it is available there if you would like to create your own project. And yeah, so there we have lots of holiday patterns on Wood Burning University, as well as just other general fun patterns. But I use stencils like graphite paper to transfer my image onto the wood, just because it's so much faster. Barbara is asking, will I be putting snow around him? I don't know yet. I think we can probably get this little guy finished up burned, like the burning part of it tonight. But I don't know. I wasn't sure how far we would get tonight on the burning, so I hadn't really had a plan for color yet. Yeah, make sure that there's nothing in there too. Let's burn his pants. Yep, no, Tracy, I agree. It is kind of funny. So Kelly, I use a variety of different programs and resources to make the patterns. So yep, let's burn his pants. Let's just set him on fire. He's got just the cutest little stubby feet. I think Larry thought it, was it Larry? Yeah. It said his feet are stubby and splayed out like the feet of a basset hound. Oh, how cute. So yeah, I'm kind of jumping around here a little bit on the feet, but we'll get it. So generally I like to wood burn dark to light, so I'm trying to focus on the darkest areas here first and get those in without getting a lot of overburn and ghosting if I can help it. And I can always go back and add a couple more layers. The additional layers can darken up values and also smooth out shading, so layers are very helpful when burning. Oh, Barbara, you're saying that you have to be careful when you say you burn animals too. Yep, I get in trouble with that too. You used to say that you shoot animals and draw them. Ah, no, it's better to say you shoot pictures or take pictures. Yep. I'm right there with you. I've gotten in trouble for saying that I burn wolves or I burn animals, and they're like, oh, how dare you? They are majestic creatures. How dare you want to burn them? Because sometimes I'll see a photo, I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want to burn that wolf. Since we are wood burning artists, we understand the meaning of that. But people that don't wood burn, yeah, they kind of take offense to my enthusiasm for wanting to burn animals. And if YouTube is listening, we are talking about wood burning and not actually harming animals. So here I'm adding just kind of another layer on this boot to make it a little bit darker. That one's going to be kind of a challenge because I don't want to get that ghosting. If I spend a lot of time right here and burn this area, I'm going to get some heat build up on the back side of the burner and kind of scorch the wood. I love it, Vivian. I'm not sure that I can repeat that on camera, but I love it. Yep, there's, yep, taking pictures of people and then cropping the photos would be exactly what you're referring to. All right. So we have some fun little folds in the pants down here. It's like his pants are too long and they're all wadded up at the bottom. So I'm just going to have to turn the wood here in a minute, guys, because I can't quite get the values that I want. So I'm just going to kind of expedite here and put in our base shading. And then I'll turn the wood and we'll make these areas a little bit darker. So I'm going to pull some of these darker areas over and across a little bit more. And then we'll turn the wood upside down and fix the other side and burn the shadow and the floofy coat, and then we're getting pretty close. So since this is a relatively short project, you guys let me know if you want to see more of this project next week. Like, do you want me to try to put in a reindeer, if I can do that, or add color to the little guy, or move on to another project, because we could do that ornament project. So think about it as far as what do you want to see next week. Because, let's see, next week is next week the week before Christmas?
Yep.
Okay. Alright, so I'm going to build up the values over here on this side of the pants. And another thing, guys, is I have been thinking for a while about taking the weekly live streams from YouTube and putting them completely on Patreon. So I'm thinking that after the first of the year, our weekly live streams will all be switched over to Patreon. So if you want to join the weekly live streams, they will be Patreon exclusive, except for maybe once a month. So I think I'm going to take them just to a different level and make our weekly live streams into more of a monthly free live stream, and everything else will be on Patreon. So if you have not joined Patreon yet, please take a look at that. And if you've liked the live streams that we've been doing here for free, please definitely consider the Patreon course, because I've been giving away basically the live streams for free for over a year and a half, almost 2 years now, and just trying to get some exposure out there and letting you guys kind of see what I do. But it would be helpful to have everything on Patreon moving forward. It helps definitely keep the lights on here around the house. So and pay for medical trips and all that. So that is what I'm thinking about doing, is as of the first of the year, it will be, if you want to join the live stream, it'll be on Patreon. So patreon.com/Minisa, that's my first name. And also this next year, I want to try to get more free YouTube content out there. So there will be more YouTube free stuff as well. But as far as the live streams and the interaction and this community that we have built here, I'm thinking that I'm going to put it onto Patreon. Vivian, yes, you can still chat on Patreon. It'll basically still run through YouTube, but you can only get the link if you're on Patreon. So it'll work exactly like it is now, guys. It'll be run through YouTube, but in order to access the link for the YouTube live stream, you'll have to be a patron on Patreon. So it really won't be any more effort for you guys, not at all, not a different platform to learn. I'll just take the links for the live streams from public to, I think it's like unlisted or something, so you just have to have the link. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking. I might do a free weekly, a free live stream, like maybe once a month or so, but most of it's going to be moved over to Patreon. So I just want you guys to kind of think about that and get a little bit prepared for that. So if you don't find me on YouTube for the weekly live streams, jump over to Patreon, and that's where you will access the link for the upcoming videos. So if you have any questions on that, please reach out and ask me, because it is actually a really good deal if you're a patron, because you get the patterns for free, plus the interaction of the community, plus the past live streams. If you miss a live stream, you can always catch it up on Patreon. So let's see, I'm going to turn this down a bit, guys, to where the orange meets the red. All right, thanks, guys, for all of your support on Patreon. I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, it's going to work exactly the same as you see here. It's just you have to go to Patreon and then click on the link. So, but the cool thing about being a patron is you also get like, you get input. So you get to help pick the projects. And there is a community feature on Patreon where you can share your art. I'm just kind of learning about that one, so that's pretty cool. So I'm trying to really build the community a bit more, and it'll be over on Patreon. So here are the little floofy cuffs, and we're going to kind of lightly pull the gradient from the outside to the inside. Like this, and blend it a little bit, and do the same thing over here.
You feel okay, or are you still pretty warm?
Pull the outside in.
Are you drinking plenty?
So I'm still kind of like trying to blow on the point for a little bit to cool it down, and then just blend that out there. So if you want a rounded appearance, darker on a little darker on the outside, lighter in the middle. And thank you guys so much for all of your support. Barbara, yeah, Tracy, I try to keep things as free as possible. People tell me that I give away maybe too much, but you know, it's kind of hard to build a community if it's all behind closed doors. So that's why I always had planned on taking the live streams private, kind of like to Patreon, but I thought maybe give it a year of just live streams for free on YouTube, and then here we are like almost 2 years into it. So yeah, I think it's time to move the live streams over to Patreon for right now. So hi Michael, thanks for the input. Glad to have you here. Larry is saying that we won't have a live stream next week. I think we will have a live stream next week. I want to, yeah, it'll be after the new year that I'll take the live streams to Patreon. But the holidays this year are like what? Christmas and New Year's is on a Monday? Is that right, hun?
Yes.
Yeah. So for a Thursday, I think, unless I'm sick or something, we should be able to have our weekly live streams through the month of December until the new year. So, and then after that, just check out Patreon. So, just finishing up the little floofy tidbits here on his coat. A little bit of shadow under that belt buckle. And pulling it in, the shadow on the sides. And on the bottom. So this is kind of an initial rough outline here. I would go back and try to probably richen up some of the dark values and spend a little bit more time on those. I'm not going to have time to do that tonight on the live stream, but just for your planning purposes, that is what I would do, is just richen up the darks, burn them a little bit darker, create a little bit more contrast. And let's see. I think I threw out too many questions here a little bit ago. Let me see. Somebody was thinking, Barbara, you want to see the ornament next week? Okay. Cool. Kelly would like to see a reindeer with him. Terry would like to see an ornament as well. Larry would like to see a reindeer. Okay, guys. Well, I'll see what I can do as far as we'll either add a reindeer behind Mr. Santa, or we will burn the ornament. So I'll see what I can do. But anyway, here is our very sweet little Santa Claus. A little bit more blending and smoothing out would be good. But yes, we will have live streams throughout the month of December, as long as everybody stays healthy. So Tracy, that sounds perfect. Yeah, you can always upgrade on Patreon at any time. So thanks, Barbara, for your support. Thanks, Larry, for being here tonight. Vivian would like to see a reindeer behind this guy. We could also do like a Mrs. Claus. I don't know. I'm throwing out too many ideas. Okay. So we could either add a reindeer, add Mrs. Claus, like on a separate project. Ornament. A lot of people want to see that ornament done as well. So we would burn a deer. So this is kind of like a reindeer. You could imagine him sitting behind there. But wouldn't it be neat to have like a set of these? Like a little Christmas set? I think that'd be so fun. Thanks so much, Terry. Really appreciate it. Have a great weekend as well, Angela. Thanks, Kelly. So I think we're pretty much at a point. So I will say good night. And thank you so much for being here. And look forward to everybody being here. Try to join us next week. I will do my best to throw out more information and let you guys know what project we'll be doing next week. A couple hours, instead of a couple hours before the live stream. Steve has a great question. When will the calendars be mailed out? The calendars just were shipped to me, so I will get them and then send them out to everybody. So it's a great question. It'll be like at least a week or more yet. So my goal, Steve, is to get the calendars out before New Year's. I don't think that'll be a problem. I would love to get them out to you guys before Christmas, but that might be a little bit tight. So anywhere between Christmas and New Year's, you should get your calendars. So, all right. Thanks again, guys. Have a great night.